So we've accepted that fat around your middle is something that happens in the peri and menopause, and we've accepted that for some people they might think, what does it matter? So the first thing I want to do with you is go through the why it matters. It doesn't necessarily have to matter for aesthetic reasons. We can look however we want to look, but actually it's what's going on inside us that is obviously far more important than how you might look on the outside. So when people put on weight, not only does those fat cells sit beneath the layers of skin and sort of pad you out, but that fat collects around your organs as well. And that in itself applies a certain level of pressure to your organs that have to struggle with this coating of fat around them. Your ability to maintain your blood sugar, your insulin levels, is affected if you are carrying too much weight. You're far more likely to suffer from diabetes, even if you've never suffered from diabetes before. If you're carrying a lot of weight, there tends to be a lot of fat floating around in your blood freely. And this is not a good thing at all. In fact, having too much fat floating around in your blood can lead to all sorts of things where you might think, oh yeah, okay, actually I do recognise that. So people can get chest pain, people can get shortness of breath, they can get palpitations when they're on exertion, they can feel dizzy or perhaps even faint. Sometimes they have swollen ankles or they have painful joints, indigestion and heartburn. So having too much fat in your blood isn't a problem again for what you look like. It's how your body is functioning in its day-to-day life. Having a lot of fat that you're carrying around will nearly always lead to an increase in your blood pressure. And that's not good for our long-term positive health either. It also means that you're at a much greater risk of clotting unnecessarily. So you probably know that strokes and heart disease can happen if your clotting risk is high. We want your blood to clot when you bleed so that you don't bleed too much. But if it clots too much, then that also becomes a problem. And as I say, with carrying so much weight on you, you're more likely to have joint problems. So I've already mentioned that having too much fat floating around in your body can lead to inflammatory or to joint pain. But actually just carrying more fat around you means that you're likely to have inflammatory problems, both in your gut and in your joints. So it's a really good idea, once you understand all of that, to think, okay, so how risky is it? How at risk am I? And one of the most simple things you can do, rather than jumping on the scales, because obviously everybody's a different height and a different build, is to take a simple tape measure, one of those ones that you got in a cracker last Christmas and you've never done anything with, and measure your waist at your tummy button, your belly button. And if your tummy waist measurement is 32 centimetres or over, then you are at increased risk of body disease, heart disease, lung disease, just disease generally. And if it's over 35 centimetres, that risk goes from being just increased to a serious risk of disease. So I thought that the first thing to do was to tell you why it's a problem, and then let's be honest with ourselves and think, okay, is this a problem? Is this something I've got to face? I can ignore the fact that I'm never going to wear a bikini again, or I'm not going to prance up and down on the beach with my naked body. But you can't ignore good health, because we all want to be healthy and live a long, healthy life. So get your tape measure out, get measuring, and then we'll get on and do something about it. Bye.